Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. Today we're going to talk a little bit about timely tips for your cattle operation. If you have a spring calving herd, you probably are already started calving or just getting ready to start. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that we're watching those spring calving cows, making sure that if they're having trouble, when to assist, if there's any way possible to get them in a clean area so that when they do calve, because we have had a lot of rain and there's a lot of mud out there, and a lot of times we can have fatalities with all that mud this time of year. So if you can move them to a clean pasture, that would be perfect. The other thing is we want to make sure that we take care of that calf. We want to make sure that it has colostrum within the first 24 hours to build up really good immunity in that calf to really give it a chance at great success. Also, we want to identify that calf and make sure that we do the proper record keeping. Now we got to take care of that mama cow too, because we're expecting her to rebreed this spring. And so if we can separate the cows that have already calved and give them some extra feed. Because if you think about it, a cow that's nursing a calf and giving about 25 pounds of milk per day needs about 25 pounds of fescue hay along with 5 pounds of concentrate. And so if we can separate those and really make sure that they're getting adequate nutrition to raise that calf, as well as keep and maintain good condition for breeding season, we're going to be way better off in the end. Also, this time of year, we have had a lot of rain. It's been warm and that grass is really growing, which is great, but we need to be feeding some high mag mineral to those cows, at least 15% magnesium, just so that they won't get grass tetany. A lot of times that causes us some problems in the spring. We would love to have that being fed for 30 days prior before we turn them out into pasture. But if you haven't started yet, go ahead and get started as soon as you possibly can. The other thing in this cow herd is the bull. We need to start thinking about getting him checked, getting him ready for breeding season. He might need a little feed as well to get his condition up. Make sure to contact your veterinarian, set up a time, get a breeding soundness exam. You want to do that about 30 days before breeding season begins. And if you haven't located a bull, a lot of times we buy bulls in the spring. We want to go ahead and get that taken care of or get your semen ordered. A lot of times with those bulls, if we're applying for County Agriculture Assistant Program or Ag Development Funds, they have to meet certain EPD requirements. And this year there is a change that those EPDs have to have a certain accuracy or be genomic tested. So I would make sure before I purchased a bull, if I was thinking that I might get some of that Ag Development Fund, to make sure that bull meets those requirements. Now, if you're like me and you have a fall-calving herd, there's some things to think about that as well. See, you might want to think about early weaning those calves. We just don't have any pasture hardly out there at all. So we might need to wean those calves a little early, start feeding them some grain, creep feeding if you're not wanting to wean early, to really get the condition of those calves. Because unfortunately, without the proper pasture, unless you have some really high quality hay and are supplemental feeding those cows, that mama's milk is just not enough for that animal to grow. So pull those calves off, let the cows have a little bit of time to maintain some condition before, their season starts again. If you still have your bulls running with that fall herd, you probably need to go ahead and pull him out. Go ahead and get some time set up to get the fall herd pregnancy checked, and then see, and you might need to make some decisions on whether you have open cows, if you're going to keep those on into the season or not. So there's a lot of things to do. We're really getting started into the crux of a really busy season, checking fences. If the temperature is right, we have some of those problem weeds that we had. A great time to get thistles, poison hemlock, yellow buttercup, curly dock, plantains, all of those weeds. It's prime time to get those now. If you have any questions about any of the tips that we talked about today, make sure to contact your local extension office and we'd be happy to help. Thanks for watching Farm and Home, and we hope you have a great day.